Hi guys, so this is the third set of notes for this week and most likely going to be the last set of notes for this week. So we are reviewing again, so we are going to review point slope form. So this is another equation form for an equation for a line. It looks like this: y minus y1 equals m parentheses x minus x1. Let's do this. Where your point is represented by x1 and y1, and your slope is m. Okay, so this guy, and this guy will all get numbers. Okay, this y will stay there, and that x will stay there. And y1, x1 come from a point on the line, your xy point. Okay, but you'll notice that it's always saying do the opposite, so subtract that. So we're going to try to put it into point slope form. I'm going to give you a point, I'm going to give you a slope. So we're going to take this. That first y always stays as y. Then it becomes minus. Remember, this is an xy point, so we're going to use our y values because it's y minus y, so y minus 5 equals m, my slope, negative 3. Parentheses, we keep x there, but we do minus my x value of 2. That is point slope form. Okay, I'm going to try number 2. Same thing, y minus my y value of 9 equals my slope, 1/2 parentheses x minus my x value of 1 here. Okay. Next one, y minus my y value, excuse me, of 7 equals slope 2 parentheses x minus my x value of negative 4. Now, here you're not going to want to leave that looking like that. You will actually want to write it out as 2 negatives make a positive, so this is actually the answer you want to leave it as. Okay. If you're entering these into Schoology, you would type y minus 7 equals 2 parentheses x plus 4, not 2 negatives, and then parentheses. You would put 0 spaces in there, so no spaces. So everything's back to back to back to back when you enter that. Number 4, this is y minus 3 equals my slope of negative 6 parentheses x minus 0. Another way you may see that is y minus 3 equals negative 6. Well, it's just x, so typically you won't see that in parentheses because it's really just negative 6x. So it would be y minus 3 equals negative 6x. So this is actually kind of how you would see it. Next one, y minus 0 equals negative 2 parentheses x minus 0. Let's reduce this down. Minus 0 doesn't do anything, so it's really just y. Minus 2, remember minus 0 doesn't do anything, so it becomes this, but it's just an x. So that's what it becomes. Number 6, y minus a negative 2, so 2 negatives make a positive 2, equals my slope of 1, parentheses x minus a negative, 2 negatives make a positive, 5. Let's talk about that 1 there. You may see that like this instead, where that 1 is gone, because you don't really need that 1. That 1 is invisible, so you don't necessarily need it. Okay, given 2 points, write the equation in point slope form. So remember, in point slope form, we need 1 point and 1 slope, or our only slope for the line, right? Because the slope on the line is the same slope no matter what points we choose. So what we're going to do first is we're going to go back to our review lesson from 1, our first one, and find the slope. So remember, slope is y minus y over x minus x. So I'm going to do negative 4, so y minus 2 over 5 minus 1. That is negative 6 over 4, which reduces to negative 3 over 2. That is my slope. The only other thing that you need in point slope form is a point. I'm just going to box around the first point, and I'm going to use that first point. So I'm going to do y minus 2 equals my slope, negative 3 over 2, parentheses x minus 1. That's what you would type into Schoology if it were an answer. Negative sign would go with the 3 for the slope on top. No spaces. Could I have this? Could I have and use the other point? Y minus negative 4, so y plus 4, equals negative 3 over 2, my slope, x minus 5. Yes, I could have that. That is a correct answer, okay? Those look like they're two different equations, but they actually are the same equation for the line if I would reduce them down. Now, as far as what I want us to do to make it easier, I just want us to always use the first point so that we are always doing the same thing together. So when you check yourself, you know which way you're checking yourself. I am not in any way, shape, or form saying that this is incorrect, because this is correct. It's just for the ease of us in checking ourselves. Go ahead and use the first point. All right, number 8. So I'm going to find the slope. 10 minus 10 over 4 minus 6. So I get 0 over negative 2. 0 divided by anything is 0. So we have a 0 slope here. So I'm going to use the first point. Y minus 6 equals a slope of 0. X minus 6. If I distribute that, I'm multiplying. And what you actually get is, you could leave it like that, y minus 10 equals 0. This is actually turns into y equals 10 line. But that's what that guy looks like, okay? I want for you to pause me real quick. I'm going to solve 9 and 10. I'm going to pause. I'm going to solve them. When you are finished solving them, I want you to unpause me and just check the answers. I'm not going through them. I'm literally just going to put the answers down. So go ahead and pause me. Okay, so hopefully you solved both of those. One thing I want to talk about here is this turns out, the slope turns out to be a negative 3 over negative 1, which turns into just a positive 3. So you just use the positive 3 for the slope. So check yourself on both of those and make sure that you did that correctly. Next one, write the equation for the line in point slope form. So we need a slope and we need a point. I'm just going to use this point. That point is at 2, 3. I go over to 2 and up to 3. And then I need my slope. Now, please be careful on this slope because they've done something tricky. They've gone by 1s on my y, but they've gone by 2s on my x. So I'm going to do rise. So I'm going to go from this point to this point. I rise 1, but I run. It goes from 2 to 4, so I'm actually running 2, and it's a positive. So there's my point. You could use any point. So if you used a different point, it obviously will give you an equation that's correct, but it'll look slightly different. Here it is, y minus 3 equals my slope of 1/2, parentheses x minus 2. Here I'm going to use this point, and I'm going to use this point and this point. Oops, you can't see that though. I'm going to use that point. That point is at 3, 1. My slope is at rise 1, 2, and I'm going to run backwards 1, 2, 3. Run backwards. Remember we said to put the negative sign with the top, so negative 2 over 3. So y minus 1 equals my slope of negative 2/3, parentheses x minus 3. Okay? Next, and I believe last page of notes, yeah. Okay. So now we're going to kind of go backwards. I'm giving you the equation, and from the equation, I want you to tell me the point and the slope. So my m, or my slope here, remember that always comes before the parentheses, so that would be 2. The point is a little bit different. Remember, this is y minus y, so that's my y value, and this is my x value. But remember, we always had the negative in front of it, so that actually made it opposite of what it was. If I go back, we use this point on number 9, right? So my 2 became over here, and remember it's a positive 2, which became a negative 2, so it's opposite. This was a positive 1, became a negative 1. So here, same thing. Since this is a negative 4, really the number is 4. Since this is a positive 5, really the number is negative 5. On 14, let's do the point first. So x would be a negative 1, opposite that, and then opposite my y, so 2. My slope on this guy is always that number out front. We see that there's a negative there, so we have our invisible number. That's a negative 1. The following are in point slope form. Convert the equations to slope intercept form and graph. Okay, so we could graph using the form it's in. I actually want to graph the first one using the form it's in because we know the slope. In this case, it's negative 2. Rise over 1 would be negative 2 over 1. My point here would be opposite the negative 1, so positive 1, opposite the negative 3, which is positive 3. So what you're going to do, so if you are graphing from point slope form, you're going to put the point down first. Over 1, up 3. And then you're going to do your slope. My slope tells me go down 2 and over 1. Down 2, over 1, down 2, over 1. You take your straight edge, remember, and you draw your straight line. Lines are always straight, so kind of redundant. And put arrows on the end. Make sure that you go throughout the entire grid. Okay, so that is graphing from point-slope form. What they are actually asking us to do is convert into slope-intercept form. All right, so to do that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this into y equals mx plus b form. This guy is going to be ugly. We're going to change this to be, I want everyone to change that real quick and make that a 2. Okay. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to distribute that because we're going to kind of do order of operations. So we're going to distribute the 2. So I get y plus 2 equals 2 times x is 2x, 2 times 5 is plus 5. Our goal is to get y by itself on the left-hand side and everything else to the right-hand side. So I'm going to start moving stuff. If I want to get y by itself, I'm going to move this positive 2. To move it to the other side, across that brick wall, I'm going to subtract 2 from both sides. I'm left with y on this side. Bring the 2x down because that didn't change. 10 minus 2 is a positive 8. Now, y is by itself. I have my x value first, so my mx, and then my b. So in this case, my b value is 8. So that's my y-intercept. So it crosses the y line right here at 8. And my slope tells me go up 2 over 1. So up 1, 2 over 1. Well, I can't go anymore, and I want to put more than 2 points. So I'm going to go back to my original points. Instead of going up and to the right, I'm going to go down and to the left. I'm going to connect those points. And put arrows on the end. There's that line. All right, this one, there's not a ton to do. I have to distribute. So I get y equals 2 times x, which is 2x, and 2 times 5, which is a positive 10. So it's in slope-intercept form. My y-intercept is 10. So up here I have a point at 10 on the y-intercept. My slope is a positive 2. So up 2 over 1, I can't do that because it's off. So I go down 2, backwards 1. Down 2, backwards 1. Down 2, backwards 1. I'm sorry that you guys have to look at that thing. That's ugly. That came from working in the yard. It's a big blister. So hopefully it'll be gone soon. Okay. There's that equation. Go ahead and pause me. Try 16 on your own, and then unpause me when you're done. I'm going to first distribute. So y minus 4 equals negative x minus 3. I'm going to get y by itself, so I'm going to add 4 to both sides. Remember, what I do to one side, I have to do to the other. I get y equals negative x plus 1. So my slope is here at negative 1, and my y-intercept is at 1. So my y-intercept is right here at 1. Negative 1 slope looks like that, negative 1 over 1. So it goes down 1 to the right 1, down 1 to the right 1, down 1 to the right 1. And that's a negative slope, so that should be a negative line. Remember, a negative line goes up or goes down as I read it from right to left, or from left to right. Gosh, I can't talk, guys. A negative slope means that the line goes down as you read it from left to right like a book. All right. This page is a practice worksheet. I just want for you to try 1, 3, 5, 7, and 9. Okay? So just do 1, 3, 5, 7, and 9. At your small groups, I'll probably ask for you guys to give me those answers. So you don't need to enter this into Schoology or do anything with that. Okay? You are going to have a Schoology assignment that goes along with this, but that is the last set of notes for this week. So you had 3 sets of notes, you had 3 worksheets, and 3 Schoology assignments. Hopefully that all made sense. As a reminder, make sure to get on your small group Google Meet and let me know if you guys have questions. Thanks, guys.